Hey y'all, it's Ryan. With Mother's Day right around the corner, I wanted to do something that is cute, simple, and something that everyone can enjoy doing. So, in today's drawing, we're going to draw this really cute and simple mama hen and baby chick. If you would like to print this out as a coloring page, I'll put the link for it in the description box below. So grab your drawing tools and let's get started. For the sketch of our cute and simple mama hen and baby chick, I'm going to start in the center of my canvas. I am using my 6B pencil and I have my color set to black. So I'm just going to come to about the center and start by drawing a simple curved line. I'm going to hold so it snaps. And then I'm going to connect that with a larger, almost circle. Okay. Now I really want the comb for my mama hen to be very big and pretty, so I'm going to come up and hold so it holds and snaps for me. Do a second one that comes down a little further, and then a third one around the bottom. I'm going to do the same for her tail over here off to the right. So hold so it snaps, create a second curve, and a third. And since this is my sketch, I'm not worried about these lines that are overlapping. So we're looking kind of straight on at mama hen, so I'm going to draw just two curves on either side to show where her wings are. I'm going to put her eyes nice and big right in the middle of her face. And then her beak is going to be a rounded triangle. There we go. Lastly, I'm going to draw her legs here down at the bottom. So just two straight lines down. And then I'm going to do three jagged lines for her little toes. And another one. Now her baby chick is going to cover this area of her leg, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I am going to create a new layer to draw my little baby chick over here so I can come back in and erase where on mama hen I don't want that the chick is going to cover. So click the plus sign in your layers to add a new layer. And baby chick is going to be a very simple bean shape over here to the side. So I'm going to start kind of where her tail meets her body and just draw a rounded shape around. Come up to a cute little tail over here and then connect them. So again, just a cute little bean shape for our little chick. And then instead of doing a nice big comb like mama, he's just gonna have a cute little one right there. I am going to do a much smaller version of the tail feathers for this little guy. So again, round and hold. Okay, and then his little feet, just like I did mama's, two straight legs for his, two straight lines for his legs, and then three jagged lines for where his toes would be. Now his little wing is going to sit right about here, so a little further back on his body. And then instead of doing big open eyes like mama, I'm going to do 2 arches to show that his eyes are closed, but it also looks like he's really happy. And then his beak, just like Mama's, is going to be a rounded triangle. All right, so now I can come back into my Mama Hen layer, go into my eraser, and erase on that layer where I'm not going to be adding color because my chick covers it. Since I'm not going to be doing an outline, I'm just going to start adding color onto my sketch. That makes it just a little bit easier for me. So next up, I'm going to combine these 2 layers. I'm going to merge them by pinching them together. I'm going to change my blend mode to multiply, and I'm going to turn my opacity down. And now we're going to start adding color. To add color, I'm going to build in my layers between my sketch and the group of my final one, my example one that I had, just so I can clearly see the lines that I'm coloring on. I don't lose my sketch. So I'm going to click on that group, create a new layer, and in my color palette, so I usually work columns instead of going across in the rows. So I'm starting with this yellow right here. I'm gonna change my brush to Monoline. I'm gonna bump this up to about 12 or 13%, and I'm gonna start working on my outline of Mama Hen. And I'm going to color fill. So I can still see where I need to add details into it because my sketch is on top of this layer. So I'm going to add her legs behind. So the layer is going to be underneath. Come into my color palette, it is this orange. Nope, I didn't close that. Close that shape, and then I can color fill. And then I can do the same here. And color fill there as well. Next up, I'm going to work on her comb and her tail. So I am going to, again, add a new layer behind her body so that way I can close it back there and no one will see it. In my color palette, it is this, the pink down at the bottom. Fill. I'm going to do the same for her tail. Okay, so now that I have Mama, the whole thing done, I'm going to come back and later and do the details. I'm going to work on getting my chick done here as well. So on a new layer above my Mama Hen, I'm gonna add a new layer. For my baby chick, I used a much lighter yellow for the body. I'm still using Monoline and I still have it set to the same 13%. Okay, and then for his legs, I used a little bit darker orange. I'm gonna put that behind his body, just like I did with the Mama Hen. 2. Close both of these shapes and then color drop and then continue filling there. And then his comb, his cute little comb and his tail feathers are going to be this, it's a muted, it's a duller orange compared to where I just was for his feet. Okay. Tail. All right. So now I'm gonna come back in and start working on my details. So I'm gonna start with Mama Hen first. I'm gonna come into that body layer, add a plus sign, click on it to make it a clipping mask. And the first details I'm going to add is I'm going to add the wings and I'm going to add feathers. If you watched the owl video, we're gonna do the same kind of cloud almost lines to add feathers to our Mama Hen as well. So in my color palette, I'm gonna come to this lighter orange on that clipping mask. Going to draw in her wings and hold so it snaps to for me. Okay. And then like I just said, we're gonna come in and do those kind of like the clouds, or at least that's how I used to draw waves or clouds. I would connect them all just to show her feathers here on her belly. Go. And then I'm actually going to use the same yellow that I did for my baby chick, so I'm going to hold until my color drop comes up. And I'm just going to add in, and turn that opacity down to about 50. And my size, brush size down to 4. I'm just going to come in and add lines to show where the feathers would be or where they are on her wings. Okay. Next, I'm going to work on adding in her face. So new layer, it doesn't need to be a clipping mask. I'm going to set this to black. Change my pen size back up to about 12. Draw and hold for a circle. And then I'm going to have her looking down at little baby chick down here. So her eyes are going to be, I'm going to draw another circle on the inside here. And they're going to be angled down. There we go. Now I can color drop in that black. I'm going to come in here and add white to the back of them. I'm also going to add in that reflection in her eye just to give it that little extra pop. So still on white. I'm going to draw in a U and then a little dot over to the side and then another U and again another small dot over to the side. Let's turn the opacity up. There we go. Okay. And then lastly, I'm going to add in her beak. For that orange, I'm going to come back to the orange that I used for the feathers. actually, let me go back to the orange, whoops, I used for her feet. It's a little brighter. Here we go. And color drop. Okay, so Mama Hen's almost done. I'm just gonna add in my swirls to her comb up here at the top and her tail feathers down here at the bottom. So I'm gonna find that layer, click new layer, and make it a clipping mask. In my color palette, I'm gonna go to this light pink right here. And I just decided to go with a spiral going out on each kind of section of her comb. I think it just makes it look cute. Just gives a little detail to it. And then in her tail, I'm actually going to follow the same shape that I did for her tail feathers. And fill it. Okay, next up I'm going to work on adding details into little baby chick down here. So in my layers, I'm going to come into the layer for the little chick's body, click the plus sign to add a new layer. I'm going to make this a clipping mask. In my color palette, I'm going to select the dark orange that I used for his feet, and I'm going to add a clipping mask for his wing right here. And then just like I did with Mama's feathers up here, I'm gonna just add in the lines that would make up his little feathers on his wing. I'm also gonna add in the feathers on his belly like I did. Okay. And then let's add in his cute little face. So I'm not gonna set this as a clipping mask, I'm just have this on a new layer. Go with black for his eyes. And again, they're closed tight. And he's hugging his mama hen right here. Come back to that dark orange that I used for his legs. And draw that curved triangle for his beak. I'm going to do something similar in his little comb and his tail to add some details. So here's that layer. Add a new one, make it a clipping mask. In my color palette, I'm going to this lighter yellow right here. It's a lighter orange, but it does have, it's mixed a little in with the yellow on my color wheel. And since it's a clipping mask, I don't have to worry about it going off on Mama Hen out here. Go. I'm gonna do the same thing in his tail that I did with Mama Hen over here. So just draw that same pattern. Close the shape. Fill it. Go. Okay. So next up I'm going to add a background with grass and the sky and cute little hearts. So before I do that, I'm going to come into my layers. I can turn off my sketch layer now because I have all of my details done. I'm gonna select that top layer and swipe to the right on all of the layers dealing with both mama and baby chick. I'm gonna click group. So now I have one group for both mama and baby. I'm going to start working on my background below this group so it lays behind both the mama hen and the baby chick. For our background layer, I'm going to select that original group that I had, make a new layer below, so I'm adding this layer below my mama hen and baby chick. In my color palette, I'm going to select the first green, and I am going to draw two hills, essentially, that they're going to be standing on. I'm going to fill both of them. Okay. Now here's where the other brush comes in, just to add texture, so it's not a completely flat image. So I'm going to add a new layer, set it as a clipping mask. In my brush library, I'm going to select the artist crayon. I just like the texture that it gives. I'm going to come with this lightest green first. I'm going to turn the opacity down to about 70. I have the brush size set at, let's go with 15. And I'm just going to lightly kind of go over the shape of the hills to add in just a little bit of texture for the ground. Come back to my color palette and go with that much darker green. Opacity is still set at the same. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my drawing guide off just so I have a clear picture of my image and what's going on. Next, I'm going to change my background color to this really light color blue for my sky in the background. And I'm going to add in little grass blades coming up in between their feet and just kind of all around the image, just so it's, again, it has some movement to it, some grass, so it's not just a flat image. So add a new layer above my grass layer so it's on top, but I also need to come into my chicken layer and move this layer so that it's on top of both my mama hen's feet and my baby chick's feet. I'm gonna start with that darkest green. I'm gonna change my brush size down to 1 and take it back to monoline. And I am just gonna come in and add, ooh, too big, small little curved lines to show grass. I am gonna go through with different colors so that it's not all one color of grass that we're seeing. I'm gonna do 3 on some and 2 on others, just so it gives it a little bit of variety. So my color palette, I'm going to come back to this dull green, and I'm just going to come back in and add a couple of blades of grass in that color. That color a little bit everywhere else too. Okay. And then one of the last details, I'm gonna add clouds in the sky. So still behind all of my chicken layers, so I'm actually gonna come back down to, I'm gonna close the group, I'm gonna collapse the group, come down to my background layer here, add a new layer. I'm gonna use the select tool, make sure I have it set on white, and I am just going to draw in kind of funky cloud shapes because they're just gonna be, I'm gonna kind of smudge them to make them a little wispier. Fill. In my smudge tool, I'm gonna use that soft brush, and I am just, again, going to smudge those clouds just to make them soft and wispy and not the hard line that I have there. I love doing clouds this way because clouds are never perfect. They have, you'll see more sky behind it in some places than you would in others. And so just coming in now with the eraser to add in kind of where the clouds break and adding in that sky. The last piece that I'm going to add into my drawing is going to be the really cute hearts surrounding Mama Hen and Baby Chick. So in my brush, still set to Monoline, I have it all the way down at 1. I'm going to start with this really bright pink first. I'm going to put a heart on both sides. So I like drawing half of the heart and holding it so it snaps to for me. Uh-oh. And then color filling. Same on this side. Before I add in my final detail of my hearts, I'm going to come into my layers, click the plus sign for a new layer. In my color palette, I'm going to select this very bright pink first, and I have my Monoline brush set down to 1. And I'm just going to go around and draw hearts on either side, kind of going around both mama and baby. So for hearts, I like to draw half of the heart first and then hold so it snaps to for me, and then fill. I also like to do different sizes so they're not all going to be the same size. And I can come in and fix where lines don't meet up perfectly. I'm going to come into this lighter pink now. It's the same pink that is in her comb. I'm going to put it up near the clouds so that way it has a little bit of white to kind of stand out against so you really see it. Okay, next this darker pink I'm going to do a larger heart on this side. A smaller one here. And then lastly, I'm going to do white. Thank you so much for drawing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and click the bell so that you're notified when new videos are posted. Hope to see you soon.